Jurassic World. It did what Jurassic Park could not. Real-life dinosaurs. Tourists came from all around the world to visit this spectacular place. The memories Jurassic World gave would last a lifetime. The park was doing well, and the guests were having fun. Until 2015. The Indominus Rex, a man-made dinosaur hybrid, tore down the park, leaving scraps behind, until finally being defeated by the Mosasaurus. Although Jurassic World was a success, Masrani was too ambitious. It was left abandoned until 2018. But what if things were different? What if Masrani had never built on Isla Nublar? Instead, he decided to build on another island, one that we already know of, one that had dinosaurs waiting to be captured. Yes, that's right. What if Jurassic World was built on Isla Sorna? After the events of Jurassic Park 3, Simon Masrani has now obtained the InGen license and decides that he wants to build a park like no other. He wants to reimagine Hammond's dream and build Jurassic World. After the failures of Jurassic Park, Masrani knows that he has to succeed and he has to build a sustainable park. But in this universe, Masrani does not decide to build on Nublar, he decides to build on Isla Sorna. So, on May 30th, 2005, Vic Hoskins and a team of InGen operatives head to the north of the island, where they think is the best place to begin construction on a park. But in order to do this, they need a better understanding of the untold horrors that lie on this island. The north of Isla Sorna is where Jurassic Park The Lost World took place. Knowing this, we can assume that there is the Buck and Doe Rex, Jr., the Parasaurolophus, Pachyrhinosaurus, Triceratops, Mamenchisaurus, the list could go on. There is one dinosaur that would probably cause the most havoc on this mission, and that is the Velociraptors. If Vic Hoskins' team saw the Tyrannosaurs, they would be able to evacuate before it got close to their proximity. But the Velociraptors are small, quick and nimble creatures that would probably sneak past the team's defences and pick them off one by one. InGen knows what is on this island. There was probably a lot more carnivores in Isla Sorna that we don't know about, but they would have come prepared, and I feel they would have successfully set up a suitable area of land where they could begin construction on the park. Before actual workers and construction people came to the island, they would need to successfully tranquilize most of the dinosaurs on the island. In doing so, they would have probably built a sanctuary on the rest of the island. The park would have probably been on the north of the island, and the rest of the dinosaurs that they didn't need would have been put into a sanctuary outside of the island, maybe used for future attractions. If you would like to know what was on Isla Sorna, then check out my video about InGen's list, where I cover every canon dinosaur that has been confirmed in the Jurassic franchise. In about 2006, the island would be ready for construction to begin. A plethora of workers and construction people had arrived on the island and began building what would soon be Jurassic World. The Innovation Centre and most of Main Street would have looked just the same, except for the lagoon, which would have been a natural lagoon. The lagoon would have been in this area of the island. There would also be a lot of different attractions. The T-Rex kingdom would probably be the T-Rex's kingdom, including the Buck and the Doe Rex. I feel like Junior would have been separated off from them and put in a more safer environment. The Gyrosphere Valley would probably be in the desert area that we see in The Lost World. It would probably include most of the creatures that we see in this area. Parasaurolophus, Pachyrhinosaur, Triceratops, Stegosaur. There may even have been a Jurassic Park amphitheatre exhibit to showcase some other dinosaurs, aka the Carnotauruses that could have been on Isla Sorna. I feel like most of the Velociraptors that were on Isla Sorna would have been killed off and replaced with newer Masrani raptors like we see in Jurassic World. Blue, Delta, Echo, Charlie, and even Gamma, I think, was the fifth member of the raptor pack that was exterminated. There would probably still be a Brachiosaurus zipline exhibit, but this time including the Brachiosaurs that we get to see in Jurassic Park 3. Most of the old InGen laboratories on Isla Sorna would have probably been repurposed for newer laboratories, I guess, or newer outposts that they would have around the island. The Cretaceous cruise exhibit would probably be very similar, except the dinosaurs would have been different. I will go on to explain all of this in depth in the next chapter. There would probably have been the Pachyarena still, using the Pachycephalosaurs that we already had on Isla Sorna. And maybe a sauropod exhibit where we keep the Mamenchisaurs and extra brachiosaurs that were on the island. A massive range of dinosaurs were in Isla Sorna Jurassic World, probably including all of which that was on Injun's list, and many more that Masrani cloned himself. But the one I want to pay the most attention to is the Spinosaurus. It was probably included in some sort of river cruise attraction where you go down a river with fences around you and look for the Spinosaurus beside you. There was one problem with the Spinosaurus though, Manticore. It is unknown as what point in time Manticore arrived on Isla Sorna to capture the Big E.T., Little E.T. and the Spinosaurus, but it's probably around the same time that Masrani are building on Isla Sorna. But in this universe, we're going to assume that Injun arrived first and captured the Spinosaurus, leaving Manticore to only capture Big E.T. and Little E.T. The population count of dinosaurs on Isla Sorna would have been much higher than it would have been on Nublar, as Masrani Corp had to clone every dinosaur except for the T-Rex, the Dilos, and a few of the raptors, which they only used for testing. But on Isla Sorna, there was so many dinosaurs already on there, it was unnecessary to clone a lot of dinosaurs. The park probably opened in about 2010 or 2011, and it would have probably lasted for longer than Jurassic World would have, because they didn't really need to create the Indominus Rex at this point in time, as they already had 2 apex carnivores, 3 even, the 2 T-Rexes and the Spinosaurus, and maybe even more if they cloned other apexes. Also, Junior at this point in time would probably even be a sub-adult T-Rex, and maybe they would repurpose him for another attraction. But anyway, I'm going to explain the lagoon now, because I haven't really touched upon that. I feel like in this universe, Masrani didn't really want to create the Mosasaurus, as he already had so many big carnivores in the park, and he maybe wanted to create Plesiosaur Pond. Now, if you've seen the original concept art for Jurassic World, you'll know that the Mosasaur Lagoon was originally meant to be a place called Plesiosaur Pond, including Plesiosaurs and Ichthyosaurus. Although this would have been a good idea, I feel like Masrani would have gone for something more ambitious. There is also another concept art for another Jurassic film that was going to include an aquatic dinosaur before Jurassic World. Yes, that's right. In Jurassic Park 3, the script was rewritten a lot of times, and there was originally meant to be a Tylosaurus exhibit. I think the plane was supposed to crash into a Tylosaur exhibit. So imagine the lagoon had a bunch of Tylosaurs in it instead of the Mosasaur. And maybe we would even get to see some underwater aviary domes, like in Jurassic Park the game. Despite all of these amazing attractions, the Spinosaur, the T-Rexes, the valleys, the Carnosaurus amphitheatre, Masrani wanted more. And he would probably go on to create the Indominus Rex in later years of the park. But I feel like in this universe, Masrani was more clear with Henry Roux of what he wanted to create, and we went through stages of Indominus Rexes. There was prototypes and different versions until he found something that was perfect, until it wasn't. In about 2017, the park would eventually collapse to this Indominus Rex variant that could have even been the Malusaurus, and there would have been an epic brawl between Spino, Rex, and Indominus. And who knows who the winner of this fight could have been. But regardless, Jurassic World would eventually follow the same fate all of its others would. And the island would be once again left to the dinosaurs. Well, I hope you guys liked that video. Certainly different to the ones I've made in the past. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.